Yes, precisely August 26, 2019. That was when I was inaugurated as the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sport for your state, which made me the youngest in the history of Nigeria, at that time. As commissioner, I was 27, and it was, very interesting that I became perhaps, the first or one of the first beneficiaries of the not too young, to run bill. Because if that was not implemented, I mean, my age would have disenfranchised me in a way, to be commissioner, because the requirement would have been someone who is nothing less than 30 years of age. So it was an interesting one. I mean, it was one that when I was nominated, it met a lot of oppositions, especially from the older politicians, who feel that who is this guy? I mean, or perhaps this is another slot for us to actually take advantage of. So why would you be giving it to this young guy who is just 27 and all? But I mean, it's a good thing that the governor, is someone who is actually deliberate all the way. During the campaigns, he said that when he emerges as governor, that he's going to make the commissioner for youth and sports would be someone who is less than 30 years of age, who would truly, amplify or truly, show that, I mean, it's a youth. So if it's a youth affair, there's nothing wrong in putting youths there, since they are the one that know how it actually itches or how it pains or hurts when it comes to issues bordering their conditions or their welfare or their activities like that. So that was how I became the commissioner for youth and sports, and it's been an amazing journey. It's about 2 years now, or more than 2 years that I've been in this office and in active politics. And I will say that yes, it's come with its own ups and downs, but I mean, we give glory to God that we are still standing, and not just standing strongly. So you see, I've seen a lot in this short period of time, and I've actually been made to understand that there is more to these things that made the high, that things are not particularly just the way it's been reported in the media. Sometimes it is a bit more, sometimes it's a bit less. So in most cases, it's not always as accurate as what we see there. But the most important thing is, I tell people that when it comes to politics and governance, the best way to actually have to know what is going on is by being in it, because whatever you see outside cannot clearly actually define what the true picture is. And for me, it's been I mean, a lot of overwhelming moments for me, because I mean, it's quite tough to be able to actually glide through the terrain, especially because I mean, as a new bee coming on board, there are a lot of things that you're actually going to learn by experience. I mean, I pride in the fact that I read a lot, a lot of history books, biography, governmental and political notes and journals. But all those things I read have been compared to the experience. I mean, it's totally different. But I mean, it's a good thing that I actually read those things to get myself acquainted to this landscape. It has actually helped me in numerous ways. But what we see every day, what we experience every day, what we actually exercise every day, it's a bit different. That only when you are in the system, that is when you can tell exactly the way it is. So, but frankly speaking, I have no regrets. There are times that I feel like, okay, how did I get myself, here? But more times I feel like, okay, yes, I'm here for a purpose. And for that purpose, I'm going to stick through this to make sure that we deliver, because I know that my being here is like a litmus test for a lot of youths out there to see that, okay, really, can they really do it? Because I know a lot of people when I came in said that, oh, let us see 3 months if it's still going to be standing. 3 months came and went by, I was still standing. They said, oh, let's give him 6 months. 6 months came, gone. So let's give him a year. Let's see what he's going to be able to do within the space of a year. And that came and gone. And I mean, people are beginning to see that, look, there is a new change. There's a transition, in town, today, that really, if you call us, youth, we are truly useful and we can actually do, things. So, and I don't think there's any sector in the nation today that actually thrives without the input of the youth, especially because we carry, with more of the population of the nation. So I believe so much that this is our time. It's our time to actually show ourselves approved, to actually be able to take up, leadership, and show to the people that we truly can do it. Yes. Am I going to say that every youth qualify for this? Not every youth, but there are a sizable number of youth who, by reason of discipline, have been able to put themselves in that place of leadership, and they would actually do well. They are actually doing well. So so I mean, everything it comes with a price, really. That's what I would say. Okay, so for me, okay, let me say it was perhaps, well, not scared, but it was quite unprecedented. That was when the cabinet was dissolved. Sometimes 2 years after her appointment, like that. Sometimes in June, I believe, last year. So for me, because it was now then, everybody in the cabinet, were actually dissolved. So it was now a question of, okay, I mean, some people will return because it's like a football game. There is a first half, there's a second half. And, it's not everybody that plays in the first half that plays in the second half. Some people will be, substituted. And also now, and, for those that are substituted, most times, it's not really a function of the fact that maybe they didn't do well. It is just that, okay, let us give room, for, other people who have, maybe, and whose energy is still fresh, to take up, from where you stop. And then, some are actually substituted maybe due to injuries and, the fact that they couldn't perform up to expectations. So for me, it was like, okay, yes, this is like a report card. This is where, my script is going to be backed, and, coming back would actually, be a pointer to how well I've been able to do in office. So I was, quite glad when, I was recalled, back to office, because I know that, the governor is not a sentimental person. I know that, he's someone who is actually very diligent and thorough. And, and my coming back is a function, is a pointer to the fact that, oh yes, I actually did my best while I was here. So it's practically renewed my conviction, and then that strength to be able to give more, to do more, upon my return. So, and that's why coming back, I mean, it's been with a renewed energy, even to do more and better than the way I actually did in the first outing. Well, so I feel that everything actually, boils around, leadership, really. And one thing that has actually helped Oyo State, even up to this moment, I would say, is a function of good leadership and governance that is being administered by the governor, Engineer Seun Makinde. And a lot of people have actually seen the reason to do things differently, the reason to actually shoot their sword, and the reason to actually maintain their cool just because of a good and a responsive, government, that we have, today. Whether we like it or not, there's still going to be a little here, a little there. But, what I can say, truly, like in comparison with what has always existed, I would say that, this time, the administration of Engineer Seun Makinde has really stemmed a lot of, volatility, violence, and, what have you. Having somebody like me, in place is, telling the people that, look, this is Seun Fakorede, is a youth like you. So, why don't you try, to be, Seun Fakorede and better, than just, trying to be used, by people. Different administrations and governors have come and go. They don't really see the need to engage, the youth the way Engineer Seun Makinde has done. They rather use them for other inordinate, activities and all. But today, in our cabinet, today in your state, you see a lot of young, under 30s, under 35s, in taking up, roles in the government as special advisors, special assistants, like that. So, and I think that alone, it's a major motivation for the youth constituency to see that really, instead of us, being used, it's better for us to build ourselves so that we can actually be seen and recognized to be appointed, like this. So, like I said earlier, I believe so much that the youths are ready. Now, we have to be, very critical and realistic that, yes, the youths are ready, but not all youths, are actually ready for the task, ahead. But we have a sizable number, which is good enough that we can actually work with to say that, okay, yes, if we give those people an opportunity, they will actually, perform well. They'll try to outdo themselves to make sure that we have a better community, because we feel that there's a lot ahead, for us. Unlike an 80-year-old man or 90-year-old man who believes that he can be called upon, anytime. For someone who is, less than 30 or in their 30s, in their 40s, they believe that they still have a number of years ahead, and they know that, it is what they are able to sow now that they will reap, in their, older age. And also they want to really do stuff that they'll be able to sit back to say that, yeah, it was during our time that this was done and we're reaping the benefits, now. Because we understand today that it's like we're sitting on, gunpowder, and if we are not careful, by the time the explosion comes, it consumes everybody. So we are always, trying to look for things or ways out of this, current precarious situation that, we find ourselves in this, country. So I believe so strongly, convincingly, that yes, and there might be, some youths out there that are not, doing what is expected of them, but I believe that there are still a number, because this is my constituency. These are people that I interact with on a daily basis. So, and I know that I've come across, I've interacted and engaged a number of them who I believe that if these ones are given, a chance, they will definitely do the nation proud. So sincerely, just like I've been advocating, here and there, what I actually want for our youths is, let us just, think. Let us just think and do things differently. Look, it's high time that we threw away all these, ideologies or idiosyncrasies of this is how things are done, or you don't have to put effort in this or that. It doesn't really even matter. Your opinion, your input doesn't count. Well, sincerely, I'm in the system, and I can, boldly say, I can confidently say that our opinions, our, idea, our positions, our efforts really matter. Because if it doesn't matter, these people are not going to contend, for it. I mean, you hear people say that, oh, you don't need to bother yourself getting a PVC. After all, your votes doesn't count. And I, beg to differ, because I'm in the system, and the truth is this: those votes really count. Because if they don't count, nobody is going to go around spending millions and billions to buy those votes. Look, whether we like it or not, there's nobody that invests in trash. People invest in value. So it is because that vote has its own value. That is why they will invest billions of naira to buy, your vote, to buy your position and your choice. So that is why if there's anything I crave, so strongly against 2023, is that, we all should go out there to get, our PVCs. And when it is time to vote, don't let us just sit down, in the comfort of our closet, watching, the statistics of the votes, but let us be part of that, data. Let us be part of that, statistics, to ensuring that we actually vote, for our, choice, candidates. And I believe that when we do that, a lot of things will actually change, for the better for us. But if there's anything in particular that I really want, is that by the time I leave, this office, let it be said that Seun Fakorede, did his best. Let it be said that, I left no stones, unturned. Let it be said that I actually modeled, a good example. Because I believe so strongly that if we are telling people to do this, to do that, I think the best form of leadership really is being the example yourself. That let people see. You shouldn't preach A and then you are doing B. So if you are preaching, a particular ideology, let people be able to see you as the definition, see your life as the definition of such, ideology. So I want people to really, see me as, that, young guy, that came in into, governance, and is able to model, a good example, to the people. And people can point at that. Look, if you think we will fail, we will not fail. After all, look at Seun Fakorede. During his time, at this particular period of time, this was what he was able to do, and it did not, disappoint the youth, constituency. So really, I think everything is majorly hinged on being a role model, and maintaining and sustaining the integrity that I came into office with. All right, so for me, yes, well, I've always had this, plan, for governance. I've always had this, vision to actually be part of the polity, actively in, government. And but for my appointment, it came, for me, it was quite early. I did not expect that it came at that time. However, I was actually, very prepared, for it. So, and well, if the appointment did not come, sooner or later, I would have still, been very involved in governance, in government. And for me, for 2023, I cannot say that this is the particular plan, that I have, or that's going to, happen. But I can, tell confidently that I'm still going to be actively involved in the polity and in government by the special grace of God. So, when the time comes, if it is in the way of, running, for office, why not? I feel that, I am actually, quite, qualified and quite, capable and credible to actually engage, that. And if it is still in the line that I am, just making sure that I continually contribute my quota to the government, by assisting, my principals, yes, then, so be it, too. The most important thing is, whatever I do, I want to make sure that I keep delivering impact, indelible impact in my local community and the nation at large.